sports-ott.com.
Harris, you finally get to play left tackle, and your reward the first week is going up against a guy who had 11 sacks last year, 6 forced fumbles. Just what are your initial thoughts on Foskey and that matchup?
I mean, he's a great player, like generational type of player. But I mean, I feel like the type of guy like he is, I feel like we have a lot of guys like him in this building here. So I feel like I'm blessed to play for a program that has the same type of talent and ability across the board. So I feel like we have the best preparation here.
Excited that that's what you get to?
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I came here. You know, I want to go against the best people, you know, every week. But I feel like, you know, it should be harder in practice too. You know what I mean? The type of people we have in this locker room.
We'll go front row right. Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
PJ, Coach Day's talked all month, all year about wanting this team to be tougher. What tells you 1 through 85 that this roster is tougher now than it was a year ago?
Honestly, I just think how much closer your team has, because I feel like it's like if you're really not close with somebody, you can't be as honest with them. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you're closer as a team, you can be tougher on one another, and you're going to be able to, you know, hit somebody in the face and be able to look at them and say, hey, I'll bring him more next play. And being able to keep doing that, it really sharpens the man across from you a lot more, which will translate on the field, you know.
Tired of hitting your teammates?
Oh, yes, I am, yeah.
Okay, next question for Paris, front row middle. Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
The transition back to tackle, how smooth has that gone?
I would say with the help of Coach Fry, it's been a really good transition. Now, you know, I've had my times where I may, you know, early on in the spring, there were some slower moments, but I feel like, you know, it's all been positive, you know what I mean? And you're able to see the progression I've made from guard back to tackle.
And so many people are projecting you as a potential first-round pick, a high first-round pick even. For a game like this, I know you're thinking about the game, not that, but how important is this game to you?
Oh, this is the only game that I have my opinion. I'm not thinking about the game after that or the game after that. This is the most important game. And like you said, with the draft stock and everything, like my mindset, I try to remind myself every day, that stuff, you know, the NFL will always be there. And you know what I mean? And if anything right now, trying to think about that as a distraction, because the most important thing to me is beating Notre Dame. You know what I mean? So this is the most important game to me right now in this moment. Then next week when we talk, then Arkansas State's going to be the most important game to me, you know. So I feel like that's the only way you should look at things.
Front row right. Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about it. Parrish, you've gone against it every day in practice, and I'm just wondering, what are people going to see about this defense? I know you're not going to give away secret stuff, but what are people going to see from this defense Saturday they didn't see last year?
I just think our defense plays a lot faster, and I feel like as an offensive line, there are times in practice, like, man, this is the same guy linebacker, but when we ran counter, he didn't play like this. Same exact guy, you know what I mean? So I feel like just the speed of everything has just changed, you know what I mean? And I think that guys just feel so comfortable in our defense that they're just, you know, showing all their ability. So it's exciting to see.
Hey, give me one name of somebody up front that's really caught your eye on that defensive side of the ball. A lot of people have been talking about Mike Hall through this camp, et cetera. I just throw that name out there, but who has caught your eye?
Mike Hall's caught my eye, for example, since he got here. He's physically just a strong human being. But I would say Zach Harrison and JT. Honestly, I can name all the defensive ends. I can go down the list from top to bottom, all our defensive ends. I think they've all just, you know, been outstanding, you know.
Thank you, man.
Over here to the far right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
You were in this position a year ago where you're starting the season, you know, you had some experience as a true freshman, but now you're in the starting lineup, and I don't know what sort of nerves you have, but anything, where is Donovan Jackson? Because he's now in that position a little bit. Are you helping him with that, and just how do you feel like he has come along in camp to this moment?
I think honestly, if you were allowed to play 6 people last year on offensive line, if you're allowed to have a 6th position, he would have played. Like, he's that talented. So I think with me, just, you know, me and Donnie are like this. You know, we're talking all the time outside the field, and I feel like the way I want to help him this season because he has all of the God-given ability. The way I want to help him this season is the way I feel like Thayer Munford and Nick Petit helped me last year when I started, which is just always talk to me about stuff. It's not even about stuff on the field, but just where to stay at, like mentally as a young guy who's gifted enough to start, you know. So, you know, he's going to be outstanding.
Wait, where to stay mentally? What do you mean by that?
I think just not like, you know, overthinking things, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't really have that problem, but, you know, just trying to prevent that as much as possible. Like Donnie's a guy where he doesn't really like make a lot of mistakes. So when he does, I'm like, hey, Donnie, are you okay? Because no, he usually doesn't. So I know it's not something on the field. Like, are you okay? Are you overthinking this play? What's the problem? Talk about it, and he's done. We move on. You know, so he's super talented. There's not a lot of, you know, yeah.
Thank you, Paris. Front row right, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Paris, as far as the defense making progress this offseason, you've gone up against them in practices. When did it feel, I guess, they got really hard to go up against? What from just your end, when do you think they started to really kind of turn a corner?
I would say since the first day of spring ball with the pads on, just seeing their scheme. Like there was one day in practice where they ran the same play, every single play, and we didn't even notice because, you know, the way, depending on our formation, that play looks different, but it was the same defensive play every play. And from that moment in film, I mean, I'm in the locker room, like, yeah, we ran the same play every single time. I was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? So I guess to me, like, that's when I knew, like, you know, this is going to be the best defense that we can prepare for, you know what I mean? So.
How'd they do with you with that one play?
What'd you say?
How'd they do against you guys with that one play?
Like it was pretty good, only because, you know, I don't know, at least up front, it's our first time seeing this new defense. So, I mean, we really weren't taking the time to examine all that. You know, we weren't trying to game plan against our own, you know, team. But, you know, really cool, though, to see it, you know.
Did I miss anyone else? Some questions? Okay, third row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Paris, you know, Mark Stream was saying yesterday he thinks the key to this game is going to be, you know, being able to stop your guys' running game. Kind of flipping that to you guys. How much do you guys view it as a point of emphasis of being able to establish a run first in this game?
I would say that is one of our rules of, you know, like as far as what it takes to win a game is the run game. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the country knows that we can pass the ball. But I feel like my point of emphasis and what we're going to take pride in this season is our run game, moving the line of scrimmage. You know, at least in the offensive line room, that's what we talk about all the time. So.
When you look at their defensive front, what do they do well, and what are things you guys have to be able to do to run the ball effectively?
I mean, but just like us, they have a talented room, smart guys. They lift weights just like us. You know what I mean? So I feel like in these type of like matchup games, honestly, it's just that strain and that toughness and just that like willpower to want to move him, you know, more plays than he wants to, you know, stop moving. So that's what's going to take.
Is there anything specific that gives you confidence that you guys are going to be able to move the ball on the ground in a way maybe you couldn't against Michigan or Oregon last year?
I mean, frankly, I don't try to think about, you know, the past and those sort of things. I just try to take those experiences and just try to use it as motivation and not allow that to happen again. You know what I mean? So I think it's you know, we all have the ability, and that's why, you know, we came here to play, but it's that mental pride of taking pride in the run game. It's not being like, man, like, we can pass protect and we can throw him to Marvin, to Jackson, to Mecca, whoever. You know what I mean? Just being like, you know what, we're just going to call our play, and you guys know what's coming, and this is what's going to happen. So that's kind of been our mindset that we've been trying to have.
Last questions. Fourth row middle, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Paris, just this starting offensive line group, how confident are you that group is ready to go, and how exciting is that challenge, as Dan mentioned, the talent that Notre Dame brings on the defensive line?
Oh, yeah, like, because they have a lot of talent, but I feel like, you know, we bring the same type of guys here, and I feel like the training that we get with Coach Fry, Mike Seleni, Coach Mick, you know, even sometimes we're doing our team periods here. Coach Wilson in the background, he has his coaching points. I feel like we have the same type of development, the toughness, as everybody else in the country. So I feel like that's what's going to take, you know, to beat a talented team like this. Like, if everyone has talent, it's going to take that skill, the discipline, and just raw toughness to get it done. You know what I mean? That's going to be a difference maker.
Great. Harris, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.